In this brief video, I'm going to demonstrate one way that I've discovered that you can have a movie night with people who are social distancing. And it's something called Netflix Party. So if you're like me, you're self-isolating, you're staying at home as you should, and we are all trying to find new ways to both work and play in this, environment of social isolation. In fact, what's interesting is that we're isolated, and I feel like I've been reaching out more, starved for social contact. So trying to find things that we used to do and find new ways to do them is something that we've all been struggling with. Now, one of the things that I know that I've enjoyed, and I'm sure many of you enjoyed in the past, is having a movie night or hosting a movie night. Now, you'd obviously gather friends and family into your large living room and all gather around and watch a movie together. Usually you're watching movies where it doesn't matter so much that you're talking through parts of it. So these are like your classics you've seen over and over again, or comedies that you're going to laugh through, a lot of portions of it. What's interesting is I thought to myself, well, let me host a movie night. Let me try to reach out to people and host a virtual movie night. Again, what was interesting was it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. With all the technology that we have, the internet, applications, smartphones, tablets, it was harder than I thought to find a program that would allow people to simulate that moment of hosting a movie night in one's living room or basement or entertainment room. Mainly, there's actually three things to consider, three major things or potential barriers to consider. One is synchronization. You want to watch the movie at the same time, much like you would, obviously in your own home. It's not a big deal when you're just playing the movie and you're watching the same movie in the same room, so there's no synchronization issues. But if you're watching a movie in one place all the way to another place, you want to make sure it's actually happening at the same time, so you're reacting at the same time to the same jokes or the same twists and turns in the movie. That leads to the second thing, which is communication. I mean, the whole point of hosting a movie, we've all been watching probably a lot more movie and television than we should be, but the idea is that you want to actually communicate and socialize somewhat during the movie. Not that you'll be talking and laughing throughout the whole movie, but that's the point, right, is to share in that ambient feeling of these movies. So the question is how do you actually communicate? Is it via video? Is it via text? How do you do that at the same time? And then lastly, as you potentially are sort of watching these movies at different sites, there's an issue of broadcasting. I mean, obviously one of the simple solutions would be just to sort of purchase a movie as you would in your home and broadcast it via one of these telecommunication applications like Zoom. Now the problem is obviously if I purchase pay-per-view event, a movie, rent it, etc., and I sort of host a movie night in my home, no one really balks at that. But if I broadcast a movie that I've purchased to several people around the country or the world, that's going to probably infringe on copyright. I don't pretend to be an expert on these issues, but that big FBI warning at the start of movies probably covers this issue. And essentially you do want to actually incentivize people to create and make these things, so you don't want to do anything illegal and take money out of people's pockets. So you have this third barrier is how do I do this in a ethical and legal fashion such that everyone has license to these movies? Because of these three things, it was actually difficult to find a uniform solution to the problem. One of the few solutions that I found to be pretty ready-made was Netflix Party. This is an application that you can already tell has a little limitations in that all the people that you want to invite to movie night need to have a valid license to a Netflix account. You're also restricted to Netflix's libraries of movies and television. So not a problem if you're into this new Tiger King that everyone's talking about, but if it's a movie they don't have, then that's probably not on the docket for movie night in this particular way. Then there's the idea that Netflix Party, it's nice that it's simple, but it's a Chrome extension, so it's Google Chrome. This adds a couple other limitations that you should know about. Number one, you have to have Google Chrome. It's free to download, but you may need to download that if you want to be a part of this particular movie night. And that's for every viewer, not just the host of the movie night. The other thing is that it's actually on a computer. Basically you have to be able to run Google Chrome to be a part of this Netflix Party application or extension. There might be some workarounds. Obviously, if you want to watch this movie on your big screen television in your home or another monitor, it's probably just a matter of doing some sort of smart television where you actually can project it as a second monitor to your computer, but you're probably going to need some sort of control unit that has Google Chrome on it. So with that being said, is if you want to do this or be the host or be the guest, you're going to need to do a couple quick things, and I'll show you how to do that very quickly. I've already got most of these things loaded up, so I'm going to start with this. And this is just your Google search. Now you can tell I already have Google Chrome installed. If you don't have Google Chrome as one of your web browsers, it is free to download. If you literally Google Chrome, it'll come up and you can download that pretty quickly. Now, then after that, you want to make sure you go and download the extension to this. And if you just Google Netflix Party, the first thing that comes up is Netflix Party. I have that loaded up in my second tab here. And it's a nice little website, pretty simple. You click the button, Get Netflix Party for free. It is free. They are asking for donations for this particular program. You can support them on Patreon if you so desire. Otherwise, you can just install Netflix Party. Once you install it and go through some quick buttons saying, please allow you to install this extension, there's a very small, it's almost even hard to see on this computer view, a very small little icon that says NP for Netflix Party. It's grayed out right now because there's nothing yet playing on it, okay? But that'll become important later if you are a part of a Netflix Party movie night. So then you go to your Netflix account, and so your Netflix account, and if you're hosting, what you would do is you click on the movie in question. I'm going to pick Batman Begins because it's on the front page. I'm going to click it very quickly. I'm going to stop it very quickly because I don't have license to broadcast Batman Begins, so I'm going to stop it right there so I don't get any kind of trouble. But you can see it's at the very beginning of Batman Begins there. And now the icon has gone from gray to red, so it's sort of active. Now before, it was a little slow, so I may edit the video a bit, but what happens is once you then click Netflix Party, a little dialog box comes in, and you've got some options here. You can just start the party. You can also click an option as the host saying, only I have control of the movie. This might become important if sometimes you get people who are well-intentioned, but they don't know that they are actually controlling it as well. It would be like, the analogy here would be like if someone in your living room were literally to take the remote and click pause. So it means that other people have control over the running of the movie. If you are a controlling person, you might want to click only I have control and then start the party. Now, it did pop up right away, which is great. Now, what it says here is it gives you a unique URL, a link that you can share with the individuals that have a Netflix account. And if they go to that link, it will bring them into their Netflix account and then bring them into this Netflix party. And so what you see here, the only difference, I'm going to stop the movie again. Don't want to broadcast that. But you can see it auto-started here. And what you get with it is a chat box. So there's a text-based chat box to the right that people can join if they have that link. So you want to make sure you send the link to those that you want to invite to the movie. And you can type in little messages here, isn't Batman the best? So you can talk via this chat box. It asks you to enter in a nickname when you enter the Netflix party so your friends and family can enter the name. You can identify who it is. You can chat. Now, that is the limit to this native program, is simply text-based chat, right, which is the most interactive. One of my critiques of Netflix Party, it's a great program. It's free, so there's a lot of great things about it. But the only interaction really native to the program itself is text. So what we have done, and I'll tell you about our experience by running a previous movie night, was we had the text-based up, but we also tried to run a teleconferencing software separate. So we didn't use the teleconferencing to broadcast the movie. It was sort of on the side, so you could kind of hear people potentially or see people interact in a little bit more meaningful way during the movie. Now, you have to be careful of this because what will happen sometimes as you broadcast a movie, and if you don't have your audio on mute, or if your microphone is picking up the movie, it can cause a reverberation or echo. So you may want to establish some rules or at least some advice about how to put the volume down on low or put it away from any given microphone during that time. But that's how we've been doing it. Feel free to like the page, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying to post videos throughout the pandemic on different things that I'm doing to entertain myself, entertain others here. So feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, but also feel free to comment. I mean, again, I think this is kind of weird that this wasn't easier. So if you're aware of a product or a method or a process to, again, kind of create this social environment while we're social distancing, that'd be lovely, because I would love to have other opinions or other ways to do this sort of thing. So again, if you enjoyed the video, please like it or subscribe to the channel, and hopefully you guys will be enjoying movie night sooner than later.